My name's Jeff. I'm from Northland Secondary College, and every time I start a presentation or workshop, I always put this slide up. And I always highlight this part here, because that's what it's all about, it's from wherever they are. So that's what I always start with. This is our strategy, or our plan for the school. I'm going to say that the school's had a focus on the literacy and not the numeracy so much. But it's my role in the school to do numeracy, so I've been sort of doing it. That's what it comes down to. What in our school is that we have different parts of the puzzle. Is that I'm the numeracy person, and I have the numeracy part of the puzzle. There's a literacy specialist in the school. She knows in terms of student data, what they can do. Welfare officer and a specialist, and I include the maths teachers in the specialist area. Okay, so they know a bit about the numeracy, but they also know a bit in the specialist area. And in the middle is our student. And up until now, we've had them where they know their individual parts, but they're unable to bring it to the puzzle together. And hopefully be the same colour. Everybody has the same idea of what the student can and cannot do. And that's what's been my focus in the school. So we've been building our own picture. I thought I'd show you a little bit about Northland. We have the middle year school and the later years, but we also have some other schools. Performing arts, very strong, VCE, dance and music. We have an NTech area, which Kate and Jane talked about a fortnight ago, which stands for New Technology Education Centre. And we have a design school, which is a Year 13 program. They're all within the school, and then we've got the school improvement group working across them all. So it's been a bit of a challenge to implement a whole school program for me, because there's so many different parts of the school and there's so many different needs within the school. You know, the middle school has definite needs, and they're different from what a design school where all the students have VCE. That's before they come in to the program of the Year 13. So to be giving them the same information as a whole school hasn't really worked. Where we were as a school. In April of 2007, April last year, the school found local funding for a fund to bring in a numeracy specialist to support students, and that's me. Initially it was just to support students in the classroom, but there was then identified through a review of how we were teaching across the school that it would actually be supporting staff as well as students. This was all put on hold at the start of the year because they didn't want to drive ahead with changing the program and then Hopkins concepts or Peter's concepts not working with where we were going. So I put it on hold for a bit, but now the Hopkins project has become the driving force behind it, because now I can say this is what we have to do. Before I was saying this is what we should be doing, but now I can say this is what we have to do, which is great. Okay, so I've had a two-pronged attack of implementing the Hopkins project. I've gone the whole school, in which I've introduced the idea of data, and the idea that different students have different needs in numeracy. I've gone over and I've had a look at 3 types of students that they might have in their classroom. And then I've really focused on implementing the lesson templates with the math science team. These are the messages, and the math science team, because they're experts in numeracy anyway, they'll pick up on the ideas really quickly. They've been feeding back into the school, the whole school. I'm lucky that I work across the middle years and the later years. There's some later years teachers who work in the NTech area. I've got a teacher who works in the later years and in the music area, so I'm able to get the message through by basically working with 5 people across a wider part of the school. So I chose the math science team because of that. The key messages I've had for the whole school, the same ones I've given to the maths team as well, by the way. Obvious, the one Peter's been talking about. If you're going to do something, do it well, make it explicit, know where the students are, know how to challenge them, and communicate high expectations. I've got teachers in the school who have been in the school longer than I've been alive. It's true. And in that time, they've never taught maths. And because of that, I've also encouraged this, that they're the role model. And I've told them to have a go at working it out. Talk about how you'd solve it. Talk about how they'd solve it. A lot of teachers leave it to students to do all the talking about mathematics or numeracy. If they're uncomfortable talking about it themselves, it becomes this part. Where they say they're bad at maths, it becomes self-fulfilling. And it gives the students an out. So I've been really strong in arguing that they're not allowed to tell the students that they're not good at maths.